Nemo Radio is on the air.
A, B, C. A, always, B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Hey, it's John Nemo. Welcome back to another episode of Nemo Radio. Want to talk today about fixing your sales funnel. I think this is one of the most difficult, one of the most misunderstood, just hard to grasp concepts that we run into time and time again with our Done For You service, where we're working with clients, generating leads, and then the leads aren't converting on the other end because the client doesn't have their funnel fixed, right? And there's so much that can go wrong. There's so many variables. And it's really something, even in my own business, being out on my own since 2012, doing all these different variations of quote unquote a sales funnel, what really works and what really doesn't. And again, there's lots of different ways to build a sales funnel. A lot can really depend on your comfort level and how you like to sell. A lot of what you'll traditionally hear is just go buy data, right? Buy emails, buy names, buy phone numbers, and then just hammer those people with cold calls and offers and book appointments and book calls, and then try to sell them on the spot, right? Get them on a phone call, get them on a discovery call, start from scratch, build everything up, and then try to close them into an offer or close them into another call to, finish the deal. And I've just never liked that. That's, to me, that funnel, that model is so like 1980s. Like, again, and I see so many people doing it, and then what they do is they just try to overlay this. Like, they're like, I got an email the other day from a person that was like, shouting, hey, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, I can scrape every piece of data you could ever want from your LinkedIn connection and sell it to you. So like, name, rank, and serial number, phone number, email, business email, contact website page, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, none of that does me any good if I can't build a relationship with the person, qualify them, and then see if they're even interested in what I have to sell. Like, all that information, all that data is meaningless unless you have a way to actually sell to people without being sleazy, spammy, pushy, aggressive. And you see this with that cold call, hammer, interrupt method of sales funnels, where those percentages continue to shrink to less than, 0.1% of that actually converts into paying customers. I told this story on the podcast a few weeks ago of a door-to-door salesman going around selling pest control services. And he told me, I knocked on 100 doors in your neighborhood, and out of those 100 people, since I didn't qualify anyone, since I was just interrupting people, I don't even know if they're home, or if they are home, if they're, amenable to even listening to me, or if the fact that I'm interrupting their day as a door-to-door sales guy, they immediately slam the door. Like, he's like, less than 1% of those 100 houses I knocked on will actually result in someone who even is qualified or needs pest control. So it's like, 1% of these, 1 out of 100 doors, they even need the help. Like, they have the pain or the problem right now. And then I'm like, and out of that one person or that 1%, like, how many are like, okay, and I'll hire you? He's like, 0.3, like barely anyone, right? So I'm like, stop doing that. So what is the ultimate funnel, right? What is the right way to set this thing up? And I found this to be true whether you're selling, at least in my experience, right? And again, I'm courting and going after small business owners, coaches and consultants, entrepreneurs, people that are kind of run their own show. I've avoided, and I stay away like the plague when I can, big companies. And the reason is, I tell this story all the time. I once had someone who worked for State Farm Insurance, the corporate entity, was like, I really want to buy your LinkedIn Riches training. It looks great. I want to generate leads. I work at State Farm Insurance, blah, blah, blah. I'm in their whatever department. Okay, great. I kid you not, it took them 9 months to get corporate approval to buy my training. Like 9 months, and I had to fill out RFPs and ROIs and OCDs and blah, 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 like all this paperwork. They had budget, and they were allowed to buy training for sales, but it still took them 9 months of red tape. And that was like my eye opener for like, I don't want to target the big fish and the big whales. And I used to serve clients and help clients with RFPs and targeting government entities and all the rigmarole and hoops. So like, that's just an aside for me. Like, I like to go straight to the decision maker and be like, do you own your own business? Are you a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, whatever? Like, much easier for me and you just to get a deal done because you're the decision maker. So anyway, what I found is with that funnel and with knowing that audience, what works best is first off, being very client facing with your website, LinkedIn profile, everything else. The riches are in the niches. So you target some niche audiences and everything you do is very client facing. So again, the idea with your LinkedIn headline is service you provide plus target audience. So for me, the front page of my website says LinkedIn lead generation for business coaches, consultants, and small business owners. Like that, that should be like the headline for me when you land on my website. My LinkedIn headline says the same thing. It doesn't say John Nemo, CEO, Nemo Media Group, job title. It doesn't say hype and hyperbole, sales ninja, whatever. It just says John Nemo, LinkedIn lead generation for business coaches, consultants, and small business owners. So people know immediately, oh, this is the service you provide and you cater to people in my little world, right? So that's part one, is being client facing, and there's much more to that. But the second part is you've really got to qualify people. You have to ask permission, and you have to be very conversational and friendly. So when you're reaching out to people before you can even start the process, you've got to qualify them. And the way that I like to do this with emails, LinkedIn messages, et cetera, is I say, hey, nice to meet you, Joe, Sally, whatever. Curious, are you interested in blank? And blank is the topic, right? The benefit I want to sell something about. Like, are you interested in using LinkedIn to get new clients? Are you interested in using LinkedIn to find and engage and sell your products and services, to other people? Are you interested in whatever it is, right? Because if they say no to that, then I don't want to waste any more time with them, right? Like, why would you want to sell stuff to people that are like, no? I just had this email exchange before I hit record on the podcast. Someone emailed and said, hey, do you do LinkedIn profile rewrites? I said, I sure do, but I kind of have a real specific focus is if you want to use LinkedIn for sales and lead generation. And this person said, no, I'm a school teacher. I just want to update my LinkedIn profile. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, you're not right for me, for the pricing, for everything that we do and specialize in. Yeah, I'm the wrong person, right? Like, so let's cease the conversation and stop, spinning our wheels. So again, you want to qualify people right away. Like, are you even interested in this? And if they say yes, then you have to ask permission. You have to offer value and ask permission. So are you interested in blank? If you are, I've got a great free blank, right? That's a piece of content. And what I found is most effective is a book. So like an ebook, an audiobook. So again, I have a best-selling book called LinkedIn Riches, which details, how to use LinkedIn for business and sales and marketing. I sell it on Amazon. It does well there, right? And I make, a little bit of money on royalties, but I give the book away for free to everyone else on the internet. So basically anyone else I find, if you go to linkedinriches.com, the front and center, it says, do you want a free copy of my book? Click here. Right? I will give you the audiobook for free. I will give you the PDF version for free or the EPUB version for Kindle for free. And the reason is it's a digital product. It doesn't cost me anything to store it. I don't have to ship it. I don't have to mail it. All I have to do is get your email address and I can email you the file. And the reason I do that is books are very high value content. Not like a quote, ebooks are okay, like a short ebook, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Those are fine. Checklists are good. But if you have a book, there's still something about that is higher value, higher credibility, higher authority. So if you have a book, by all means, use that as your lead kind of piece of content in your sales funnel. Because literally, think about this where you can say, this person literally wrote the book on thought leadership. This person literally wrote a book on LinkedIn lead generation. They literally wrote the book on SEO for pizza businesses, right? Or they literally wrote the book on Google Ads for Massage Envy franchises or whatever, right? But look at even on those titles, how I'm hyper niching. So if you don't have a full book or an audiobook, whatever, that's fine. Like create an ebook, like a high-end PDF, And really that content that you create, whether it's a big thing like a book, whether it's smaller like an ebook, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a video series of 2 or 3 or 4 free videos, whether it's a checklist, whatever it is, make sure that it has value. The key thing is so many people online with their sales funnels will claim authority, but they won't actually demonstrate it, or they'll claim expertise, but they won't actually demonstrate it. What I have found is the most effective sales funnel for me is putting content in there that gets people quick wins and demonstrates my expertise. So for example, if you start with the big, enormous, like world-changing stuff that's just really heavy and difficult, it's harder to get than having someone go, oh, cool, here's how I can instantly make my LinkedIn profile more appealing. I can change my headline using this little formula, service I provide plus target audience. Like if I just do those 2 things, I can instantly get a feeling of success and accomplishment using John's little formula. And then I can take another baby step, and John has a whole LinkedIn profile template I can use and fill in the blank. And the first sentence on my LinkedIn profile, I can use this sentence John has. What I do, I help insert the name of a target audience, get 2 to 3 benefits they want by providing my product or service. Like when I lead with that content, they really get excited because again, they feel some success, they feel some momentum. You're demonstrating expertise in that, but they're also getting quick wins. They're seeing what the transformation can look like. So that's why you want to give people quick wins, tangible wins where they can feel a sense of, hey, I did this, it looks better, people are noticing, it feels better, I got some success out of it, whatever. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. But the more you can do that up front in your sales funnel, notice all of this in the beginning is free content. So, hey, if you're interested in this topic, I've got blank, this free content. Could be a checklist, could be an ebook, a full book, a webinar, whatever. It's going to help you get some quick wins around these benefits that you want. And the idea is, yes, you give away your best tips. You show them some of your best stuff. Like you don't hold back and worry. Like the reality is you've got to demonstrate your expertise. You've got to show that you really know what you're doing. Because again, there's a million different people out there offering the same thing you offer. What makes your approach unique, better, different? And if you do a good job and you demonstrate that expertise right away for free, people trust you. And people are like, okay, your stuff is good. When I see additional content from you, I'm going to read it because your initial tips were really helpful. So that earns the right or earns my attention to open more of your emails when later on, right, you're going to present a product, a program, a service. And that's the big thing people always get freaked out about is I don't want to give away all my expertise for free. Yes, do it. Like, give away your best stuff for free because here's what happens. People use it. They get quick wins. They get excited. They now become your advocate, your cheerleader. They either hire you directly to help them take it even further. They hire you directly to do it for them because you've proven you can help them. Or they refer people to you who don't want to put the time in and do it themselves. All of it comes back to you as business or referrals. And then what you do in part of the sales funnel is, in the beginning, you're offering the free content, you're getting people quick wins, but you're also injecting and infusing your personality. I can't emphasize that enough. So with the content you create, you're bringing your personality into it. You're letting your true self come through. You're telling stories. You're sharing tales from your time in the trenches. And one of my favorite content models for this is personal story plus business lesson equals the content. So personal story plus the lesson or the takeaway or the strategy is the content. So don't just say like, hey, here's a great tip for LinkedIn. You should do this. Like, tell a story. So when I say, hey, one of the key things is to have a client-facing LinkedIn profile. Here's a little formula for that. I frame it up in a story and I say, here's how I got a $10,000 contract in 60 seconds with LinkedIn. That's a story, right? That's a personal story that really happened where within 60 seconds, I was able to pitch a $10,000 contract, or it led to a call that pitched it, right? And so the story was very simple. I reached out to a person on LinkedIn with a personalized note about where they went to school, and I talk about this. It's the Send It in Jerome story, where I had a client-facing profile that said, at the time I was selling debt collection marketing services. So I was targeting debt collection agency owners on LinkedIn. My headline said, John Nemo, debt collection marketing, agency, right? Like debt collection marketing services. What I do, I help debt collection agencies, increase revenue, grow their sales and improve their reputation online by providing industry-specific collection marketing services, websites, etc. So what I did was, within 60 seconds of messaging someone, got a reply. They said, hey, I looked at your profile. That's exactly what we're looking for. Can we have a phone call? Have the phone call, pitch a $10,000 contract. The next day they said, yes, we'll do it, right? And so like that's the idea of a story of I put this principle into action and here's the exciting story, right? And I unpacked that a lot more because I did some personalized one-on-one messaging in that initial outreach that hooked the person and got them interested. But you get the concept, right? It's putting in your personal self, or when I share other tips and content, I share it from my own perspective, my own story of, hey, here's how I put this into practice. Here's what happened. Or here's how a client of mine put this into practice. And here's what happened. And here's the real person. And so with your sales funnel, you've got to put yourself into the content. Like, people need to know, like, and trust you personally. So that means including photos of yourself, including, if you're comfortable, videos of yourself, audio, like a podcast, like I'm doing right now. Like, they want to get to know, like, and trust you so that if they go through your sales funnel and your free content, and if your funnel and your content do these two things, they demonstrate expertise and get people quick wins, and then they also help them get to know your story, your personality. Now, when you get to the sales part of the conversation, the sales part of the funnel, it's a much smoother transition because people feel like I already know you. I know your story. I know about your family. I know about your passions, your hobbies, because you've woven that into your content. I also feel like I can trust you because I've used your tips. I've seen some good results. I get it. The stories you tell make sense. I like your approach. I like the story you shared about Sally. That's exactly the situation I'm in. I want the outcome Sally had. Now, when you get to that sales process, people trust you. And man, there's nothing better than the speed of trust to, slice through objections. You will slice through so many objections like a hot knife through butter if people trust you and know you. It's so much easier. And I'm telling you, whether you're selling a $97 course or a 5 or 6 figure package, consulting package, engagement done for you, it still boils down to trust. And I have found that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the price is if they trust you. Obviously, the ROI has to make sense and the numbers have to make sense, but it's very simple because this is the other thing that people mess up with their sales funnels, in particular the sales process and the sales call. So the discovery call or the sales call, people really mess up how to price their services. And what I mean by mess up is before I ever offer you pricing, I need to know a few key things about you and your business. So for example, if I have someone come to me after my sales funnel would start with, hey, curious, are you interested in generating leads with LinkedIn? If you are, would love to shoot you a free copy of my best-selling book, LinkedIn Riches. I can email you the ebook, the audiobook, or the PDF. Someone says, sure, yeah, okay. They read the book. That puts them on my email list. They get some follow-up emails, more stories, more tips. Hey, here's a quick win for your headline. I actually created a whole bonus training course on Thinkific that's free with some training videos for my paid online course. So they really are immersed in it. And then somewhere in that sequence, I'll say a follow-up emails. Hey, are you looking for me to help you with this? Personally, like, do you want some done for you LinkedIn lead generation help? If these tips are resonating, if these stories are resonating, if these strategies are resonating, maybe you might be a good fit for our done for you LinkedIn lead generation agency. And so I say, if that is true and you want to explore this, there's no drama, there's no, obligation. I just need to know more about you to see if you're a good fit, if it would make sense. Just fill out this quick form online. And this is where you got to qualify people. Before you give up your most precious asset, your most precious commodity on earth, which is your time, your one-on-one time on the phone with a prospect, you want to make sure they are qualified and they fit. And the best way of being able to do this is, again, after they go through content, so they know, like, and trust me, they've been through some content, they know my story, they've gotten some quick wins, they're familiar with me. Now I say, hey, before we talk live, I just want to know more about you to make sure you would potentially maybe be a good fit. Like, I'm not even saying I want to work with you. Fill out this quick form. And then I have a quick type form, an online form they fill out, and it has a couple of key things in there. One of which is, to get back to my earlier point, like, what is your business model? Like, what is one new sale worth to you? Like, what's the product or service you're selling? What does it cost? What's the value to you? So that I know before I get on the phone with you live, if one new sale for you is worth $75 or $75,000, right? Because that dramatically impacts the pricing of my done-for-you services and the length of time and what we can do. So again, that's why if you don't qualify people, if you get on a call with people and you have no idea what their pricing is, what their business model looks like, what their mindset is, you're really having to scramble on that call. And people might not be qualified. So like I put these common objections questions into the pre-call kind of form. So I won't get on the phone with you until you fill out the form. So I know a couple of key things. What are you selling? What's the price tag? What's the value to you of one new sale? I also ask things like, are you the sole decision maker in your business? If not, who else needs to be involved? Because I want to get all those people on the call. I don't want to have you get on the call and go, this all sounds great. I'm super excited, but now I have to run it by my 5 business partners. Right? Like, oh no, we have to start all over. They don't know me at all. They haven't been on the call for the last hour. So like, you want to make sure you get all the decision makers on the call. You want to ask things like, what's their mindset? Like, how urgent is it to you to solve this problem? How urgent is it to you to start getting leads with LinkedIn? How, is your hair on fire? You need to start yesterday? Or is it like, we're looking at this for the fourth quarter of next year, right? So again, the more data you have on their mindset, their pricing, the value, all these different things, that helps you go into that call, the sales process to go, okay, I know it's hyper urgent to you. I know you're the only decision maker. I know that you said one new client with your consulting can net you $25,000 to $50,000 over 12 months. So therefore, when I propose pricing to you for my Done For You program, here's a custom offer, right? We'll do this, this, and this. We'll add this, this, and that. And we can make it work so that we only have to get you one client in 6 months to pay for the whole thing, right? So like, that's the idea, is to make the math work at the back end of the sales funnel. Because if I know and you tell me, I had a person the other day say, yeah, one new sale for me is $50,000 to $75,000. I'm doing high-end C-suite executives in healthcare facilities, this big, complex, it's a big product, a big ask, but man, if I get one client, that's easily 50 to even 100K a year ongoing. So then I'm thinking, okay, great. So if I propose you a Done For You LinkedIn program for 12 months and we're doing all these different things and blah, 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 in reality, I can price it so that I can say to you, well, if we get you one client in a year, that would pay for the whole program. That sounds doable, right? Like, because now you're setting the bar where it feels very doable. And people get far less scared when they go, well, that makes sense. If you got me one client, the whole program would pay for itself. Or, if you got me 3 clients in 6 months, boy, that sure seems doable with what you're telling me, right? Those are the ways at the back end of the funnel to really have it all make sense. Instead of starting with, well, this is the price and it doesn't matter whether one sale is $1 or $1 million. No, it matters, right? Like, you always want to kind of customize your pricing and your offerings based on what their return on investment is. Because the more, for that person to do a $50,000 to $100,000 sale, there's going to be a lot more that goes into that. There's a lot of trust that has to be earned. There's going to be a lot more involvement, as opposed to, I just want to sell a $95 online course. I need to sell, if I get 100 people in, I can sell 20, whatever. Like, that's different, right? So anyway, I'm rambling, but I think the key things I want to say are fixing your funnel, really understanding the overall view is starting with a client-facing, hyper niche audience kind of focus. Like, hey, here's the service we provide and the target audience to start with. Second is, when you go out prospecting, qualify people. Are you even interested in blank? Are you interested in blank? If so, the next part is, I've got this free content I'm happy to send your way. Because you've got to have free content that now, this is the next phase, the free content demonstrates your expertise, gets them some quick wins so they can get excited about using your stuff, and it infuses you, your personality, your backstory, your hero's journey, so they feel like you're a real person, they understand you, they like you, they trust you, they connect with you, because the more you put your personality in, the more it attracts people who resonate with that, like that, enjoy that. For example, I put a lot of goofiness and dad jokes and fashion faux pas into my marketing, right? That's just part of what I do. I'm a goofball. I'm hyper. I'm crazy. I do a lot of 80s jokes. That attracts people who go, man, I would like to work with someone like that because you'll make it fun, right? I don't want to take myself so seriously. LinkedIn can be really boring. I want to work with someone that's going to make me laugh. I'm a child of the 80s too. I love all the jokes and, tube sock references and whatever. This will be fun. And it repels people who would not be a good fit for you personally, right? They're like, no. That isn't what I want. I want someone who's hyper serious and wears a suit and tie every day and blah, blah, blah. Fine, go find them. Like the other big thing is you don't have to be everything to everybody. Having a strong brand, having a strong personality, being unique, that's the best thing you can do right now because there's a million people that will offer the same services or products you do. It's all commoditized. There's a million LinkedIn trainers. There's a million LinkedIn courses. There's a million done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation programs. What makes yours different? If you're me, it's your personality, it's your style, it's your communication. That's a big part of it, so people feel that social bond and social enjoyment. And then also, of course, your content, your tips, your strategy. Is it better, unique, different? Does it get results? All those different things. And of course, if you have all that social proof, great, put that in your funnel. But that's more important to come in later. That's what I have found is it's much more important up front to demonstrate expertise and get people quick wins. Because I can sit here and say to people, and they still won't buy, I can start with, hey, and this is true, and it's on our website. If you go to nemomediagroup.com or linkedinriches.com and look at the testimonials, we have had clients get 5 and 6 figure sales on LinkedIn using our service. I have people, full name, I made $50,000, using what I learned in John's LinkedIn course. Full name, I made $25,000 in 1 month. I got one client for $50,000. I got 130. But again, none of that matters immediately to people unless they feel like it will work for them too, right? Because again, you can say all that, but again, I want to look at it and go, how does it feel for me personally? What's your strategy? What's your approach? Okay, great. You got Joe, the CPA, $50,000 client. But what is it? Like, what does it really do? What's the secret sauce? Would it work for me? Would I be comfortable with it? Is it shady or sleazy? So that's why that content initially up front goes, hey, here's the approach. Here's the strategy. Here's why it works. Here's some quick wins. Here's some ways you can apply it quickly. Now, if you really like that, we can go further. And here's some stories of Joe, the CPA, and how and why he got clients. And that's really how you build a great funnel is that content that also includes your personality, and then qualify people, right? Qualify them, have them fill out a form, play hard to get. Don't just have an open calendar where anyone and everyone can talk to you anytime they want. Don't put your phone number on your website and your LinkedIn profile so people can interrupt you and kick the tires, right? Because again, why would you give your time up if you didn't know if a person was qualified? Why would I get stuck in a 30-minute call with a teacher who wants her LinkedIn profile rewritten as a resume? That's not what I want to do. I'm not going to be able to help that person. I don't want to spend 30 minutes being polite and then learning that, right? Like you want to ask people that up front. So qualify them. Also, that puts you in a strong position, an advantageous position with your brand, and it gives you authority and credibility to go, yeah, you can't just pick up the phone and call me. I'm busy. I got stuff to do. I'm serving clients. I'm, creating content. I'm putting together, things that are helping people reach their goals. And if you want to talk to me, I got to make sure, basically that you're a good fit, like that I would want to talk to you, that you might be a good prospect. Like that's one of the things I'll ask on these discovery calls or sales calls is, well, I'll just be straight with you. Like we don't just work with anyone. Like even if you can pay whatever the fee is, like why would we want to work with you? Why would you be a good client? Like I want to make sure that you're a good fit and that there's not personality conflicts or red flags or mindset issues. Make the other person sell themselves to you. Like it's scary, right? When you don't have a lot of revenue or you don't have a lot of sales, it's hard to have that. And it's hard not to be desperate or kind of have that stench of desperation, as my friend Paul Klein terms it, a great pricing consultant, or commission breath is what Josh Braun calls it. But it really matters. It really matters for you to be like, I don't have to take your money. I don't have to work with you just because you say you want to work with me. Like, prove to me or tell me, and that will disqualify people. They'll be like, I'm not going to fill out your form. Be like, that's fine. Well, I'm not going to offer you services. Like, go find someone else. Like, that told me all I need to know about you as a prospect is you wouldn't fill out a simple form just to see if we're even a good fit, right? So you're not serious about getting leads from LinkedIn, or you're not serious about using the level that we want to use, right? So there's lots of different ways to do this, but it's a key thing. Building a funnel is hard. Fixing it can be really hard. There's a lot of different variables. And certainly I can't do it all on a podcast. But if you're interested, I've got lots of online courses, lots of details, lots of advice on different parts of funnels, emails, sales scripts, sales calls, content. Best place to figure that out, nemomediagroup.com, and then the courses page. You can see and kind of skim through and see. And obviously, too, if you want to engage the Nemo Media Group agency to build you a funnel, and it could be around LinkedIn, it could be a webinar funnel. We do them for any type of sale. I mean, whatever it is, we can create the content for you, the emails, the funnel, the landing pages. It just depends, right? So however that strikes you, and however you want to take it, whatever you want to do with it, please make sure you get your funnel fixed. And how do you know if your funnel's working? If you put in all this front-end traffic through, Facebook ads, LinkedIn messages, whatever, you're opting people in, lots of people are opting in. If none of those people are coming through on the other end, buying your course, booking a call, filling out your form, whatever the next step is, you're failing. Or if you're getting all these people through and having calls but not selling anything because people aren't qualified or are tire kickers or aren't ready, that's another sign your funnel is failing. That will save you so much time. If you get your funnel right and you get these steps right, and then you tweak and observe and really dial it in, that's how you really scale and grow your business, because you're only spending time on these discovery calls or sales calls with people that are really qualified, really warmed up, really ready to go. And in fact, now I'm thinking about it, I'll link to one of our Done For You funnels here in the show notes, the podcast show notes, that gives you a great walkthrough of how we do this. Because that'll show you some of the tools and how the content, how it all flows together too. So lots of great stuff. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being part of Nemo Radio. Hope you find this helpful. Check out the show notes for some links and more tips on funnels, and we'll see you on another episode soon.